All right. And then let me pull up my screen. Give it a second. Can everyone see my black screen?
It's white for me, but yeah. I can tell you're sharing.
Oh.
There
Okay.
it goes.
Now can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so clean the air we share with Fellowes Air Purifiers. So good morning, everyone. I'm Maria Angelakos with Fellowes. Very excited to be talking to you about this hot air, category today about air purification. We're going to be focusing today about commercial air purifiers. We're going to talk a little bit about personal air purifiers and the differences between personal and commercial, but today we're really going to focus on commercial air purifiers and the application and the need for them. So a little bit about Fellowes. We've been around for over 100 years, 103 years to be exact. We're in the office products category. The reason why it's important that we've been around for over 100 years is, as you can imagine, with the pandemic that hit us about a year ago, we've had all these different companies and competitors come out of the woodworks saying that they have this great air purifier, and they're like, oh, I've got this lifelong warranty, and then you've come to find out they've been in existence for about 6 months or maybe even a year. And it's really just important to know that, Fellowes, we've been around for a long time. We stand behind our products. We have quality products. We are founded on the banker's box, the corrugated boxes that you see there on the right-hand side of your screen. We're in a multiple categories, and then with air purification, we've been in this category for over a decade. So we stand behind our products. With the air purification category, we have less than 0.5% of defective products in the marketplace, and we have sold over thousands upon thousands of units, tens of thousands of units, actually millions of dollars globally within this category. So you can imagine our sales have grown exponentially this past year, and we're just excited to be talking to you about this category today. So with that, returning to indoor spaces, as you can imagine, so I cover 25 different states throughout the United States. And with the opening of the US, and each state is different, however, it looks the same, right? People are worried about washing their hands and cleaning surfaces, and now more important than ever is purifying the air. I'm happy to say that once we entered this category over a decade ago, and if you go back and look at our marketing materials, it's the same message. We've had this message since day one. Wash your hands, clean surfaces, and purify your air. So what's happened now in this past year, the conversation has just changed. Instead of purifying your air and convincing me to purify my air, now the conversation has changed to how many air purifiers do I need, which one do I need, and where do I need to place them in my room, in whichever room or office or space that you need to place them in. And that's where we can help you. So our positioning hasn't changed. We have tremendous products that can help. And by the way, they are recommended by the CDC. We offer a true HEPA filtration system, which we will talk to you about today. So again, returning to indoor spaces, whatever vertical that you're in, which if you're in the banking industry, education, whichever industry you are in, because air purification, let's face it, we are spending more time indoors than ever. We spend 90% of our time indoors, and indoor air is 5 times dirtier than outdoor air. So think about that. We're spending so much more time indoors. And like today, and I know my day, we're spending so much more time indoors on these Zoom calls and team calls in front of cameras. And our world, we don't know what it's going to look like 6 months, a year from now, right? So we are spending so much more time, and our indoor air quality is a very key component going forward, as it always has been. So with that, our problem unfortunately, has been COVID, and it's turned our world upside down. But the indoor air quality has always been there, just COVID has highlighted the need for air purification, right? And we do know that COVID is an airborne threat. Originally, we thought it was going to be a surface issue. So if you go back a year ago when the coronavirus and COVID hit our world, we didn't know how it was being transmitted. But we do know there's a lot of white papers out there that it truly is an airborne virus, and an air purification and air purifier will help capture that. So with that, a solution, and this is our AeraMax Pro commercial grade air purifiers. As you can see at the bottom of the air purifier, there's an intake that captures all those impurities. So it enters the bottom of the air purifier. It goes through a 4-stage filtration system, and your air, your clean air, exits through the top. Where we differentiate in the marketplace is on the left hand of your screen. There is called our Pureview Technology. So that screen, I always like to call it, you want to see blue. That blue screen signifies that you are breathing clean air. So anytime you look on your screen and you see that blue screen, you have that assurance that you are breathing clean air. And that is really where we differentiate in that marketplace, because that's giving you that reassurance. Anytime you look at that screen, you know the indoor air quality at that point in time. So any other air purifiers, you're like, okay, it's working, maybe it's not, maybe it is, you don't know. But that Pureview screen is giving you that real-time feedback. So that's what really makes our air purifiers smart. The other part of our air purifiers is we have a patented technology that is called Envirosmart. So in our air purifiers, most of them in the marketplace, they will monitor for sound and for odor. Ours takes it one step further and also monitors for motion. So if there's any occupants coming in or out of the room, it'll also detect the motion. So it's sound, it's odor, and motion. So if it detects, again, any impurities in the room, it'll increase the fan speed and remove those impurities with our 4-stage filtration system from the air. So that is a huge, huge competitive advantage for us in the marketplace, and it is patented. The other thing, which is a huge competitive advantage for us, and I'm happy to announce this is hot off the press. We just got this claim statement last week. We are now currently putting a media campaign together, which will be airing actually April 5th. But I'm happy to announce we have a new claim statement that I'd like to read to you. So the Fellowes AeraMax Pro air purifiers have demonstrated to be effective in reducing an aerosolized airborne concentration of a surrogate coronavirus in a test chamber, reaching 99.99% airborne reduction within 1 hour of operation based on independent laboratory testing. Now, I know that's a mouthful, but I want people to understand why it is a mouthful, and it's important to understand this claim. So we can remove 99.99%. We are effective against the coronavirus. So 2 things that I really want you to understand. Number 1, I mentioned earlier that coronavirus, the COVID, is airborne. We know it's an airborne virus. No one can make any claims that against COVID. No one is testing COVID in an airborne lab. No one today is testing COVID in an aerosolized chamber. It is too dangerous to do that. No lab will do that, which is why we aerosolize a surrogate coronavirus. So it's the next best thing to testing versus COVID. So I want to make sure everyone understands that. So we tested a surrogate coronavirus. Now, with a surrogate, it's similar in size and it's similar in shape and property to COVID. So we can make that capture claim. Now, we are not making a kill claim. No one can make a kill claim either. So I want to make sure everyone understands this claim. It's a very strong claim. So if you're hearing anyone saying, oh, I can make a kill claim or a COVID claim, no one can make those claims in the marketplace. It is a capture claim. We've aerosolized it because it is an airborne virus, and we used a surrogate because it's the closest that we can get to COVID, and we can remove 99.99%. And we have tested all of our commercial grade air purifiers, and we can make this claim in the marketplace. So this is a very, very strong claim, and it's the closest that we can get to the COVID strain. So I just want to reiterate that it's a very strong claim. You will be seeing this. We have a digital marketing campaign, PR, TV ad that you will be seeing starting April 5th. So literally this is hot off the press. We're very excited to be launching this. We are the first ones to be launching this. There is one other competitor out there that is making a claim like this, but when you ask them for documentation, they have yet to produce it. There is nothing out there on their website. They don't have anything to substantiate it. The other claims that are out there are based on surface. Big difference. We know the coronavirus COVID is an airborne virus. So there's a big difference between a surface claim that they're using a petri dish and then actually aerosolizing it, which is you're spraying it into the air, which is what we know COVID is. So I just want to stress this because this is a really huge claim. It's a really big deal for us. And from a documentation standpoint, here are our test reports, here's our testing summary. So if anyone has any questions as far as the lab that we used, how we did it, our testing reporting, our methodology, anything that you need to substantiate it, any questions you may have, please let us know. We are more than happy and forthcoming to report this. Fellowes has always been a very conservative company, and we're just really excited to have these results and these reports and to be able to make this claim. So more to come. I just wanted to give you a sneak peek about this, but we are very, very excited to be making this claim. So more about our AeraMax Professional solution. So 4 key things about where we differentiate in the marketplace. So not only do we have the claim, but we have lots of other things to talk about in our competitive advantages in the marketplace. So I mentioned earlier, we were smart. We have our Pureview Technology, which I'll talk a little bit about the screens that we have that you can set it to. There's 3 different settings. And then also our patented Envirosmart technology, which detects on motor, odor, and motion, odor, and occupancy. And then our effectiveness, our 4-stage filtration system. And then we're integrated. So we do offer a wall mountable solution and a floor standing solution. So the differences there are that if you want to wall mount it, it's very easy to install. It's 2 hard wires. We do not offer the services. You would need to hire an outside electrician, but it takes about 20 minutes to install. Very super easy to install. But typically we would recommend 8 to 10 inches from the ceiling. You want to do it away from any vents. But some people also like the floor standing solution. So that way it's portable from room to room. You would simply plug it into the wall, turn it on, and it automatically adjusts. You don't have to do anything to the machine. You simply turn it on, and then if it detects any impurities, the fan speed will increase to remove those impurities from the air. So it's a great plug and play product. Last but not least, they're reliable, commercial grade exterior and internal components. We have Panasonic motors, 5-year warranty, but again, very low defective rate. We stand behind our products. They are Energy Star certified, and obviously all the UL certifications. So we stand behind our products. Smart, effective, integrated, and reliable. A little bit about our Pureview Technology screen. As I mentioned, there's 3 different screens. Most people will set it on screen 1. Like I mentioned earlier, you want to see blue. You want to know that you are breathing clean air. But you also want to know it's working. So if it is detecting impurities in the air, you will see a yellow screen, right? You'll know that, hey, you know what? My fan speed has increased. It's working on removing those impurities. but that's okay because I know that it is working, and then eventually it'll go to blue. And then if it's in red, okay, I know it really is in higher gear from a fan speed perspective. And then eventually, again, it'll go to blue. Screen 2 is more for your facilities people. It'll tell you the dirty air that's coming in. It's counting the particle matters, which is your industry standard particle matters 2.5. And then it'll tell you the clean air rate exiting the machine. And then screen 3 is telling you the filters. So the filter screen reminder. So at about 90% of usage, it'll remind you that it's time to reorder them. And then it'll tell you at 100%, okay, it's time for you to change the filters. So there's 3 different screen settings that you can toggle between. So it's up to you which one you would want to set it at. And our 4-stage filtration system, all the machines come with filters. There are 3 different filters though that you would need to replace. The pre-filter is the white filter there on the screen. So the pre-filter captures the large particles and contaminants, and that actually is helping the longevity of the other filters because it's capturing the larger ones, the larger impurities in the air. And then your carbon filter is capturing your odors and your VOCs. Those are your volatile organic compounds. So anything that off gases in an office setting, so your paint, your carpets, your rugs, hardwood floors, etc. So the pre-filter and your carbon filter, those will last about 6 months on average. And then your true HEPA filter, which is really the workhorse in all of this, that one will last on average about 12 months. Where we differentiate once again is that we actually have an antimicrobial treatment on the true HEPA filter. And that helps suffocate any bacteria or fungi from regrowing on your true HEPA filter. So imagine if you didn't have this antimicrobial treatment, you would actually have to, there's people, sorry, hold on one second. There's people in the lobby. I want to make sure everyone's in the, okay, sorry. Okay, so imagine if you didn't have the antimicrobial treatment on the filter, the bacteria and the fungi would regrow on the filter, and then all you would do is recirculate it back into the air. So that would be an issue. And then last but not least is our Plasma True Bipolar Ionizer, which is basically it electrically charges the air molecules to remove those contaminants. So it's going after the really fine particulates in the air. So that's our 4-stage filtration system. And then, like I mentioned earlier, the clean air exits from the top of the machine. So that is the 4-stage filtration system. And then I mentioned earlier, we have our new claim, right, on the surrogate coronavirus that we used. However, we also have certification on the H1N1 influenza virus. And we've had this for a long time. And I've always been saying this, we've always felt very confident, and not to get too technical, but the H1N1 virus is very similar in size to COVID. So not to get technical, but I'm going to. So one strand of hair, one single strand of hair is 70 microns, 70. COVID is 0.125 microns. The H1N1 virus is between 0.08 and 0.12 microns. And we are certified to capture 99.99% of the H1N1 virus within 35 minutes of operation. And we've had the certification through AirMed. Here's our test certificate. We've had this certification. I've yet to come across a competitor who has this certification. So we've just been waiting to get the coronavirus certification. And now we have the coronavirus surrogate certification, because again, no one can get the COVID certification. But all of these are very similar in size. And at the end of the day, a HEPA filter doesn't care what it's capturing as long as it's similar in size and shape. So at the end of the day, we are able to make these claims. We've gone and had all of our testing done by accredited labs. We have all the certification and the testing that we can come out and make these claims. So this just strengthens our position again in the marketplace. So we have the H1N1 certificate, we have the surrogate coronavirus now certificate, we have our Pureview, we have our patented Envirosmart technology, we have our true HEPA with the antimicrobial treatment. So all of these things stack up and give us a huge competitive advantage in the marketplace. And we have our Fellowes brand name, which, and you know, we've been around for over 100 years, and we're a trusted name and brand in the marketplace. So very compelling story. This is a little bit of our lineup. We have our AeraMax Pro 2, 3s, and 4s. A little bit about air exchanges per hour. The CDC recommends 5 air exchanges per hour, which means every 12 minutes you are recirculating the air in the room. As I mentioned earlier, there's all these competitors coming out into the marketplace, and you'll hear these claims, oh, I could do 4,000 square feet in an hour. And it's like, okay, and you dig a little bit deeper and you're getting 1 air exchange, if that, in an hour. And you're like, well, that's not really good. So we've had to adjust our marketing. We've always been true with our marketing and said 5 air exchanges per hour. So we've broadened that to 3 to 5 air exchanges. And there's, to be honest, there's a boardroom or a conference room that you're like, you know, we don't use it that often, so we could probably get away with 3 air exchanges per hour. So what we've done is kind of broadened it. And so our AeraMax 2, we do 150 square feet to 250 square feet, depending on how many air exchanges you're looking for. Our 3s are 300 to 550 square feet. And then our 4s are our largest, which are 650 to 1,100 square feet. We do offer the 3s and the 4s with and without the Pureview, which is that screen that's giving you that real-time feedback. And then we do offer the 3s, actually all of them with the floor model or with the wall units. So either or option. So this is our lineup. And then last but not least, with the CARES Act funding, there is a lot of money out there, and then air purifiers do fall under. If you do have CARES Act funding available to you, air purifiers do fall under that umbrella. So I just wanted to quickly mention that. And then here's just some quick useful links. Our AeraMax Pro website has a plethora of testimonials, just a great resource of information about our products, white papers, whatever you would need, whatever vertical that you are in. We do have a whole host of information on there. And then our Pureview Technology, there's a nice little video there just going into a little bit more detail about how that works. So with that, I thank you. And then I would normally open it up to questions. I don't know if there's any question from Rogarts or anyone else on the line who may have joined late, but I'd be open to any questions right now. So thank you for your time, and looking forward to working with you on air purification. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions?
I don't know if it's just on our end.
How often do they think the filter should be placed or replaced?
So the pre-filter and the carbon would be every 6 months on average, and then the true HEPA every year. But all the machines do come with the filters, Butch.
All right, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that I really like about the way Fellowes has done this is they have that broad offering. A lot of times, you know, when someone comes into the marketplace with a piece of technology or something, it's sort of they hope it's a one size fits all. And what I like about this is you can adopt air purification in a number of different ways for a number of different spaces in your facility. So maybe a private office, you do just need a little floor standing personal sort of air purification solution. But if you have a training room or a conference room that's a bigger space, you want that wall mounted, off in the corner, don't have to think about it sort of solution that's just always working and always doing what it should be, and no one's really in charge of, is it plugged in, is it turned on? But you offer the full range in between there. That's one of the things that I really appreciate about the solutions being provided by Fellowes.
Absolutely. And I wanted to let everybody